Has the 16-inch MacBook Pro finally been able to take on and overtake the Dell XPS 15? All that's coming at you right now. If you're new to the channel, my name is Benji Kaiser. This is where you're going to find the best tech and tools for graphic designers and creative professionals. If that sounds like your kind of place, consider subscribing and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of the future videos. If you're new to the channel, you will not know that I have been a big proponent of the Dell XPS 15 for the past few years. That was due to, well, Apple's lack of focus on creators to give them a product that would serve them in their daily needs. And so I switched over to the Dell XPS 15 and have been a large proponent of that machine over the past few years. Now, with the latest release of the 16-inch MacBook Pro, are things changing? Well, let's dive in right now and talk about that. And if you're curious about the exact models that I'm discussing as we're going through this video, you can head down into the description below and click one of those links. Now, that is an affiliate link, so if you do make a purchase, I will get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. But that's what keeps this channel alive and this helpful content coming your way. So I'm so grateful when you guys use those links. All right, let's start out with the usability. The latest MacBook Pro is not going to be lighter, but it will be a little bit thinner than the new Dell XPS 15. Now, the Dell XPS 15 weighs in about 4.1 pounds and the MacBook Pro weighs in about 4.3 pounds. The screen quality is very matched. Now, the new Dell XPS 15 comes with an OLED option, whereas the MacBook Pro does not. They're still using that standard LCD screen, but both have 100% color accuracy in Adobe RGB and P3. So both laptops have fantastic screens. However, I will say that I'm a little bit more biased towards the Dell XPS screen. It has a little bit stronger and vivid tones, especially if you're video editing or watching 4K footage. I really like the screen on the Dell XPS 15. Now, I will say that the bezel on the Dell XPS 15 is going to be about the same as the bezel on the MacBook Pro. So that's a pretty big bonus, as both screens are fantastic. It's really not where we have a big competition. Where we start to see competition is the usability of the computer. So the ports on the Dell XPS 15 are varied, whereas the MacBook Pro has those 4 ports. That's it. That's all you get. And the problem I have with that is my personal day-to-day use is, well, I have to charge my computer, okay, 1 port. I have to plug in 2 screens, okay, now I've used 3 ports, and now I have 1 port left to do what I need to do on my day-to-day workflow. And I don't know about you, but I use more than 1 port when working on my day-to-day. I want to plug my footage in with my SD card slot. I have hard drives that I need to plug in, and so things add up rather quickly. That's my frustration with the MacBook Pro. So right now, where we're sitting, my Dell XPS is still winning, but let's keep moving forward. The keyboard, that is something that we've seen improved on the MacBook Pro. The new scissor switch keyboard, well, the scissor switch keyboard is back, should I say, has 1mm of key travel rather than the 0.5mm in the butterfly keyboard, and it's very smooth. The keys are very stable. One thing that you'll notice on a little bit more budget-friendly computers is the keys will kind of have a wobble to them. Mac has re-engineered their keys in order to make sure that it's a good, flat, strong, smooth push whenever you push down on the keys, which makes for a fantastic feel. So the MacBook Pro is back and winning with the keyboard. The trackpad, that's something that I've told you guys in the past that I completely dislike about the Dell XPS 15. The trackpad on the Dell XPS 15 is simply awful. The MacBook Pro, however, is the greatest trackpad that I believe was ever created. It is incredible. The touch gestures, the sensitivity, everything about it was engineered with mere perfection. I went through my entire 7-year graphic design student career using a MacBook Pro trackpad only. So it shows you that it's very usable, whereas with the Dell XPS 15, I bailed on it after 2 days. I was so frustrated. We all know Mac is about usability. That's really one of their biggest focuses whenever they're creating a machine, which is why we've seen so many of these iterations over the past few years that have ended negatively, but their attempts were positive. They had good intents in mind. One of those things that they really focus on that I really appreciate as a creative, because I love to listen to music while I'm designing, is the speakers. The new MacBook Pro now has 6 speakers, and the sound quality is incredible. You have crisp tones, low bass, and clear vocals. Listen to it right now. And now here is the Dell XPS on those same songs. Not even close. It is worlds apart. All right, now let's talk about the battery. Which computer is going to last longer on the day-to-day? Well, Mac recently upgraded to a 100-watt battery, which is FAA approved for flight. Now, Apple's claiming 11 hours of battery life, but as we all know, as creative professionals, the programs we use are going to drain more battery. So I'm guessing around 6 to 8. So through my test, I'm seeing around 6 to 8 hours of battery life. The Dell XPS isn't far behind. Through the tests I've had throughout owning this laptop over the years, I'm going to say you're going to float around an average of 6 hours of battery life. So you're going to get a little bit more battery out of the new MacBook Pro. Okay, now that we've talked about all the usability aspects, let's dive into the performance. This review is a little skewed on the specs, but not the price. The reason I got the model I did for the MacBook Pro is I wanted you to know exactly price for price what you could get from each machine. The Dell XPS 15 comes with the 9th generation 8-core i9 9980HK processor, 32 gigs of RAM, the NVIDIA GTX 1650 graphics processing unit, and 1 terabyte of solid-state hard drive. Whereas the MacBook Pro comes with the 9th gen 6-core i7 9750H, 16 gigs of RAM, the AMD Radeon Pro 5300M, 512 gigs of solid-state hard drive. So same price point, but different specs. Now, how do these two machines handle the head-to-head test? The first test we're going to run is a 9-minute 4K clip put into Premiere Pro and exported out at full 4K settings. It took the Dell XPS 15 an average of 6 minutes and 48 seconds, whereas the MacBook Pro with the i7 processor, it took 5 minutes and 41 seconds, so 1 minute less. Now, the reason I said the average for the Dell XPS 15 is we're still seeing heating issues with the i9 processor. If I were you, I would go with the i7. You're gonna have less heating issues. And you may even get a better export time because the machine can run cooler because that i9 is not pumping so hot. Okay, let's say you wanna save some time. Let's grab that same 9-minute 4K clip, put it into Premiere Pro, export it out at 1080p settings. The Dell XPS 15 does this in 2 minutes and 29 seconds, whereas the MacBook Pro can do this in 1 minute and 39 seconds. This new MacBook Pro with a larger heatsink and the bigger fan blades cools faster and runs better. Now, I will say that both of these machines were rather noisy. The MacBook Pro got up to around 56 decibels and the Dell XPS 15 hit almost 60. So the machines are rather noisy, but not like overbearing. So not like a gaming machine with big, large vents and huge fans. I will say though that they did run those fans to keep the machines cool. Again, if you're curious about the exact specs or pricing, you can head down in the description below and grab one of those links. Now, I will say that overall, I am leaning towards the MacBook Pro. However, there's things that my Dell XPS 15 can do, like live streaming software, that the Mac cannot do. They have not created specific software for a Mac that they have for the Dell XPS 15 on the Windows platform. As a graphic designer and video editor, I'm going to give the award to the MacBook Pro. In my own personal day-to-day experience as a digital marketing manager, a live streamer, a YouTuber, a video editor, a designer, all the above, I'm going to stick with my Dell XPS 15 just because it can do a few more things like live streaming software that the Mac cannot do. It brings me great sadness because I'm really impressed with this new MacBook Pro. I'm Benji Kaiser of BenjiKaiser.com, and thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys here on the next episode.